First thing you need to know is how to get these sale prices. You must own one of the following games shown on screen. And if you've watched this channel and don't own a Carne by now, what are you doing? Hi everyone, I'm Mark Walker, welcome back to SwitchUp. It's definitely sale season now, and it's Black Friday. And as such, we've teamed up with Cubic to bring you their brand new WinterFest sale, which is probably one of the best they've ever done. Now, I'm not allowed to give away the secret, but let me just say, without being overly dramatic, that on the 1st of December, Cubic Games are doing one of the best giveaways I've ever seen since starting this channel. It's absolutely incredible. Be sure to check out the video that we'll put out on the 1st. That will give you all the information you need. Make sure you leave your comments down below and share the video with a friend, and if you aren't already, subscribe, because those are some pretty tasty prizes. What's on sale? Well, let's find out. First up then, and launching today, we've got Real Boxing 2. With an RRP of $14.99, and you can save 50% if you own one of the games I mentioned before. This offers up to 2 players locally and was developed by Vivid Games. You'll work your way up from being a new prospect and fighting your way to the top. As you'd expect, there are a variety of different punches you can throw, none of which I could do myself, but are giving me flashbacks to the old Ready to Rumble game. What a classic that was. What's cool here, and I don't really understand why they don't do this more often, the game has some RPG elements. Each boxer has different stats, and you can actually level them up. This then unlocks new abilities, and you can also equip different boosts, which essentially act as perks. There are lots of different outfits and items to equip to your character, including different trousers, gloves, and boots, and in true Rocky fashion, there are also training minigames. You can make other cosmetic changes to your fighters, such as different tattoos, haircuts, and tweak their physique to be the Adonis you've always wanted to be, or well, the lard ass. By all accounts, it's quite an in-depth system, allowing you even to change the size of their nose. We haven't got many good boxing games on Switch, so it's nice to see this one drop, and for 50% off, well, you could definitely do far worse than this. It carries a 1.6GB download, and that takes it down to $7.59 or your regional equivalent. Then we've got the near future Cyberpunk Dex. This is a side-scrolling adventure game with an open world, allowing you to explore in any direction you choose. This one's usually $19.99, but it's currently 92.5% off. It's all about that 0.5%. It takes it down to $1.49, which over here in Blighty would be about £1. That's a pound, as in a pound coin. You get the picture. Now, they originally designed Dex as a tribute to some of the noir classic cyberpunk worlds, and that's certainly reflected in its gameplay. It really does remind me of the old adventure games I used to play as a kid, but here you've got some decent RPG mechanics. It's got some action in here as well. You can be stealthy if you choose to, or go loud. There's hacking. You can choose your equipment, skills, and cybernetic implants. Personally, I would have liked the text size to be a little bit bigger, but with that said, there's full voice acting here, so, you know, you could just listen to it. It's a 6GB download. It comes from developer Dreadlocks, and at that price, I mean, yeah, it's well worth it. Here's one that Glen reviewed on the channel. It's Urban Trial Playground. This is usually £14.99, but just like the last one, this one's now $1.49, which is 90% off. Let's see if we've learned anything. What's $1.49 in English money? Yep, it's £1. Now, Urban Trial Playground is a stunt bike game, and it's based around the beaches of California. You'll learn lots of different tricks and flips, and you'll be trying to beat the leaderboards, and there are over 50 different levels to work your way through. There are 5 different customizable bikes here. You can then upgrade these, change the look of them, but you can also tweak the engines as well to improve performance. There is a time trial mode in the game as well, which is a nice touch, and you can play with 2 players locally, which I don't believe you can do in the second game, Tricky. It's definitely a nice little detach the joycons and have a blast while trying not to talk to your family at Christmas type game. It carries a 2.9GB download, and yeah, you might want to check that one out. BADLAND has been out for years on other platforms, but we finally got it onto the Nintendo Switch, I believe maybe 6 months ago. I reviewed this one and I thought it was great, but the best aspect was handing the controllers to my different respective family members and realizing that we could actually do 4-player local gameplay. It's hilarious. It's absolute carnage, and yeah, it's just really good fun. There are 100 different levels that you can attempt to work your way through. There is actually an undertone or an underpinned story here, which is actually really nicely done. It reminded me a little bit of the storytelling you'd see in something like Limbo, where there's a lot of implied meaning. You might not think that when you look at these visuals and see these weird flying flappy birds getting sliced up by grinders. And it's also got a really nice soundtrack. Very good, this one. Very good game. You are looking at a reduction to $1.99, which is a 66.6% reduction. Next up then, we've got Tiny Lands, which is usually $5.99 and is almost like Spot the Difference the game. If you're here in the UK, you'll remember going to the pub and you had those Spot the Difference games. For some reason, you used to just pump coins into them. They're super addictive, and this essentially is the same thing, but in a Switch game version. You can rotate the worlds. They're almost like these lovely little dioramas, and it's got very chill music. It's a good one to relax to. It's only 566 megabytes. I know it's not going to be for everyone, but at the moment it's reduced to $1.99, which again is a 66% discount. Hyper Parasite is an excellent game. It's usually $17.99 or your regional equivalent, and in this sale you're looking at a reduction of 90%, taking it down to $1.79. You'll have heard me say these words many times on the channel, but it is a roguelite twin stick shooter, but there are 60 different characters to find and collect, which you can then use. How can you use them, you ask? Well, you feed them to the parasite. They become hosts that you can then use in other ways. There's a cash system here as well, which means you can then go and spend coins at the local shop, and there are 5 different acts to work your way through. It's got a cool synthy soundtrack, and it uses procedural generation to make sure that you never have the same map twice. Highlights here include the soundtrack from Van Reeves and Joe Cataldo, but for me it's all about that 2-player local co-op gameplay. This one's 2.1 gigabytes to download and is a very fun game. This is a really cool idea, this one. It's Golf Club Wasteland. We actually got a review copy for this. I was a bit gutted I didn't get around to making a video, but it's usually $10 and it's reduced down to $4.99. That's a 50% saving, but this one is in North America only. We've seen some good single-player adventure golf games, and this one puts each hole as a bit of a puzzle that you have to work out. There are 3 intertwined narratives that will help you piece together the story of humanity's destruction. And there are 3 different game modes here to cater to your playstyle. There's story mode, which is obviously more relaxed, challenge mode, which, well, more challenging, and then there's Iron mode, not for the faint-hearted. There's an original soundtrack provided with the game, and as I'm sure you'll hear, it's actually really decent. It's a 1.2 gigabyte download, and as I say, currently 50% off.
Of golf amidst the picturesque landscapes of our destroyed planet, retracing your steps and memories along the way. In between putting around abandoned museums, monuments and malls, you'll learn about what happened to Charlie and Earth itself before the dawn.
They say that moving house is one of the most stressful things you can do in life, well, why not play a video game about it? Then we've got Tools Up, which is $19.99 and reduced down at the moment to $1.99, which is a 90% sale, and that's in North America only. Now, thankfully, it's not really moving house, it's more renovating houses here, and a lot like some of the other co-op experiences we've seen on Switch, this one allows for 4 of you to work together. I say work together because it doesn't end up like that at all. You're all working against each other, it's absolute carnage, but it's a lot of fun. You'll have to paint the walls, tear off wallpaper, follow different blueprints, and attempt to work as a team to get this done. Yeah. For some reason, Glen and his missus are really good at these types of games. I am terrible at them. It's easy to control, it's got some crazy physics thrown in as well, which is always good fun, and it's only 2 gigabytes to download.
Get the plan!
Get to work!
And turn the job into the best party on the block.
Full Triumph is XCOM meets World of Warcraft, and it's reduced 50% in North America down to $9.99. I reviewed this one on the channel, so we do have a video of this if you want to go check that out, but it's really cool. You can use every tree or boulder as a weapon. It's not physics based. We thought it was physics, but it's not. It means you can fire these different items in a straight line, and it's really important if you want to win, and it's an interesting switch up to the turn-based strategy formula. You can gain different traits and abilities for your classes, and the maps do use some procedural generation so that you don't get the same one twice, but there's also a base building mechanic here as well. You have your main base, and the resources and other items that you gather allow you to then build that up, which you'll then use to skill up your troops. It's a reasonably small 1.1 gigabyte, this one, and it's a good game. Oh, also it's got a really nice soundtrack. I believe Glen reviewed this for us. Did he review this or did it get mentioned in an upcoming video? I can't remember. It's Hong Kong Massacre. It's usually $19.99, but it's 66.6% off, taking it down to $4.99. It's a top-down, fast-paced shooter. It smacks of Hotline Miami to me. There's certain elements there. It's got a slow-down mechanic as well, and this then allows you to avoid individual bullets, and you can also dive through windows or dodge behind cover. It's one-shot kills, which you'll either love or hate, but it certainly sounds like it's a challenging title that's worth playing. I'm pretty sure our friend from Switch Corner reviewed this one. Maybe that's where I saw the review. But it's decent enough, and certainly for this price might be worth considering. It's only 4.1 gigabytes. And yep, it's a single player. Last but not least, and it's not a sale game, it's one worth keeping an eye out for. It's a title called Paradise Lost. It runs on the premise that World War II hasn't had a victor, and that the war actually went on for 20 more years. That is, until the Nazis launched a nuclear assault. You play as a 12-year-old boy who's just discovered a massive Nazi bunker while wandering around the barren nuclear wasteland of Poland. There's not a great deal of information I can give you on this one, but it certainly sounds intriguing, and it looks really interesting. Pre-orders for this will go live on the 1st of December. It's a first-person puzzle adventure, and it has been released on other platforms. It uses real-time lighting, it's all about the atmosphere and navigating the dingy corridors using only your little Zippo lighter, so maybe keep your eye out for it. As I said at the beginning, on the 1st of December, Cubic have a massive competition starting, and I don't use those hyperbolic phrases lightly because this is probably one of the best I've ever seen from a publisher. They really have gone all out. Keep your eyes peeled because we'll be releasing a video on the 1st that will coincide with that ludicrous giveaway. A big thanks to Cubic for sponsoring this video. Make sure to hit up the comment section down below. Personally, I don't tend to enter competitions, but this one I think I shall also be entering. Thanks to our patrons, you guys are amazing, and to all of you that enjoy the content, for all things Switch, all the time, keep it Switch up. Cheers guys, see ya!